Welcome to Dante's Inferno. Today, in the Divine Comedy, we are talking about the hellbound place of Inferno. I already mentioned that, didn't I? I meant to say Divine Comedy, but here we are, stuck with this introduction. Let's get to start with. Alright, Dante's The Divine Comedy. We have several things that we should go ahead and talk about Dante's Divine Comedy. First thing about Inferno is that it itself is an allegory. Fun fact, the Divine Comedy itself is an entire allegory towards the three aspects of life. Or I guess in this case, religion, of the afterlife, of Christianity. Inferno, as the name suggests, is talking about the hell, the fiery places of hell. Purgatorio goes ahead and tells us about Mount Purgatorio, the mountain that we cross and climb all the way to the top so that we could go and ascend into heaven after we purge our souls. And then Paradiso, as the name suggests, is paradise. It's the place where we go ahead and talk about heaven. It's our heaven. Obviously, this isn't exactly quite right, but the Divine Comedy itself, this is quite a good introduction towards ourselves too. This is where we're stuck in right now, but as soon as time progresses, we will go and make progress towards other places as well too. But until we do, there's not much else that we can really talk about these two places. I haven't even read them yet. I have read Inferno though. Dante really loves concentric circles because here he went ahead and created 9 concentric circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 concentric circles. Each one, the smallest one being the worst. Probably they become smaller because there are very few people who have actually sinned the very worst sins. And if you consider all the sins that people are doing right now, you might consider that all the circles are growing. Humanity itself is starting to go into the realms of sin. Religion was the thing that actually kept us from going into sin, but then after we thought, hey, this science thing is actually pretty good. Religion must be fake. Lots of people started not believing, become atheists, and start going down and descending into the fiery depths of Inferno. But while we're on the topic of Inferno, though, we should still talk about how it affected people in life. Inferno itself is the only part that people pretty much read. I tried to find other study guides for Purgatorio and Paradiso, but Inferno was the most popular one, and the ones with Purgatorio and Paradiso, they're pretty good, but best ones. Not even Spark Notes from Harvard University have made one of Purgatorio and Paradiso. I expected them to make something of the Divine Comedy, but it's or at least make 3-parters. But no, they just included Inferno. They didn't even include Purgatorio or Paradiso, which is quite a shame, really. Divine Comedy itself tells us about the afterlife. Dante, that's quite obvious too. Dante himself is quite a world builder too. Even before world building was even a thing, he is more like a science fiction writer than a religious or philosophical writer too. He might have his own fanfiction too. This is technically his own fanfiction. I mean, whose dream is it to go ahead and have a stroll through hell and climb mountains with, other than Virgil? That's Dante's fanfiction, and to be honest, it is quite a nice thing too. He's the one who technically the first official fanfictioner and the first official world builder. Although Tolkien was the one who went ahead and officially made world building a thing, including with Frank Herbert, who created the Dune series, whereas J.R.R. Tolkien made the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit series. We go ahead and learn everything about world building from this guy. This guy literally recreated hell, recreated like the in-between space of hell and heaven, and he himself recreated heaven for his own liking. Itself is a love story too. The one Beatrice, who he only met in real life twice, went ahead and sent him on this mission to go to Inferno, to Purgatorio, to Paradiso, so that he can be with her. This obviously would not really happen even if Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso did exist, because she's more like, I have no idea who you are in real life. But then again, this is fanfiction. You can do whatever you want in fanfiction. As Dante himself descends into the fiery depths of hell with his senpai, Virgil, I am watching too much anime. We finally realize all the suffering, all the sins of humanity. Divine Comedy itself does quite a good job in recreating all the conditions of hell itself too. All the punishments that we start are quite anticlimactic, and the last part with Satan itself is quite anticlimactic as well too, mainly because Satan is not quite the death world eater kind of guy who fell from heaven, because he's trapped under ice with his head and his arms sticking out, unlike the rest of the people who are freezing with him, because all of them have their all of them only have their heads sticking out. They just go ahead and lie there for the rest of eternity, I suppose. Satan himself is also imagined to have 2 more heads who help him in eating, or at least, I guess, gnawing the dirtiest sinners of all time. And in the middle of them is the killer of Christ. Satan himself would probably love terrible people, but he probably hates terrible people who think that they're really good and that they don't deserve to be in hell. Like a Karen, but worse. And when we finally end the book with arrival at Mount Paradise, like Purgatorio, and we start to climb Purgatorio, we finally realize that something Dante has done is something much more too. This is quite a religious allegory. He goes ahead and teaches other people about things too. He teaches them about religious truth, and we teach them how to believe, to have faith in the system. This is also a response towards the Florentine government going ahead and kicking him out of the Florentine government, whereas Machiavelli, who was also kicked out of the Florentine government, tries to go ahead and win himself back in by writing The Prince, saying, I'm really good at politics, I'm really useful towards you. Dante says, screw you guys, I do not want to do anything for you, and this is why you guys suck, by going ahead and writing the Divine Comedy, showing everything about the sins of mankind. Eventually, though, he does give some hope by showing that mankind can go back to the heavens, like all of them. And if what the egg story is true, where all human lives are from one soul, and every time you die, you reincarnate and go back into your own life, well, you go ahead and interact with yourself many, many times. What does happen, though, is that everything that we did in our lives will work out really well. And once we technically live all our lives and ascend into the outer bounds of our universe, or maybe when the universe itself ends or humanity ends, we will emerge out of the womb and turn into a species, a new god. We can turn to God. We can have tools to shape our own universe. If we go hard enough and exceed our limitations, we will be able to do it. We can do it. But until that happens, we're stuck here on this mortal earth. And that probably won't happen for another few thousand years. Yeah. We humans are quite young compared to other species. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed my analysis and review of the Divine Comedy. But until next time when I read Purgatorio, I'll see you guys then. Shana, peace. Bye-bye.